the real world, a global community where like-minded individuals work toward achieving their personal goals. Every member receives advanced training and mentoring from our team of experienced industry specialists. Develop essential business skills with the help of our coaches through our online comprehensive education system. Join now. Real Prosperity Financial Freedom Formula. Discover how to become financially free so you don't have to depend on your business, a job, the government, a partner, or anyone else for money. Scan code for the Financial Freedom Formula. 4BK Forbidden Knowledge Shop. Forbidden Knowledge Tours and Workshops. Embark on a journey of discovery with Forbidden Knowledge Tours and Workshops, where history, science, and spirituality merge to unlock the secrets of the universe. Our immersive experiences take you beyond the mainstream narrative, exploring ancient civilizations, consciousness expansion, biohacking, UFO phenomena, and the art of manifestation. Esoteric Store, featuring new esoteric and biohack items. It's a movement, a portal to ancient wisdom, higher vibrations, and deep truths. Awakening minds and expanding consciousness. Scan code to shop now. AI Genius Club. Revolutionary suite of 24 AI-powered apps is designed to automate, optimize, and elevate your success. Whether you're crafting visuals, creating engaging funnels, or generating personalized content, our platform empowers you to excel with ease and precision. Scan code to create magic. Event Raptor, the #1 solution for automating your sales. Attract, nurture, and convert with your ultimate coaching client attraction system. Everything you need to grow your audience, your authority and influence, your sales. Scan to start your automation.
Hey guys, Nicole here, and I'm back with another Pain Point podcast. That's right. We're going to provide you with some more solutions today. But I do want to take a second and thank all the sponsors that we've had in the commercial. You'll see that in the intro. Of course, it'll be at the end. You can scan the code or go to the site. Penelope Smith is getting ready to hold one of her great events. So look for that. You can hook that up, get some information on that, and get maybe some AI graphics for your business. You can get some scroll stopping ads. You can find all the goodies online. All the links will be down below, whether it's YouTube, Rumble, or Spotify. You'll find it everywhere, especially on LinkedIn and Instagram. I'm everywhere, anywhere, and I hope you are too. And that's what we are here for. We are solving solutions on a virtual basis. So I want to bring in my guest here today, Eva. Welcome to the show.
So glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
And we were having some fun and some jokes, definitely behind the scenes. And we are bringing some more with you. We have a great conversation. It's always good to have a guest that interacts and is awake and maybe has a little oxygen and some blood flowing through her veins. Hey, I was a goth kid, but we don't need to bring that on the show here today. We'll just rock on today. So welcome to the show. We're going to bring you a solution. So with our audience, you have these great solutions that we're going to talk about. And of course, we'll get into the nitty gritty too. But you have some great solutions on your site and some healing solutions that you provide here on the virtual space. And she's going to get more into the information on what she's doing. And we're just reframing that mindset that we have solutions to your pain points. You don't have to be a victim. You can take some action and you can go down to her website. So that's a great thing. So go ahead. Would you please tell the audience a bit about your wonderful self?
My wonderful self founded a company about 15 years ago called the Elevate Institute. And I've had some gifts to share to those who are also looking to heal humanity and save the planet, save the world. Sounds lofty, but that's who I support, those people who have it on their heart. And it's all about igniting their true holistic healing. It's already within you.
Awesome. So let's see. So what are you doing right now? So you find someone's healing, their authenticity. Does it just magically come down from the heavens, or are you just guiding people through that?
I'm an ordained minister, so I can do that. But I'm also a practitioner. So it starts with the foundation. We're looking at what your body needs to keep you here, functioning at its peak, not suffering through our unknowing.
So you're bringing the knowing in.
Yeah.
Are there, and we'll get more into, is it like, have you found over the years that it's quite a few modalities that you have to use? I think I know a lot of healers that I talk to are finding that, especially some of my clients. When I hear them on a stage, they're talking about, hey, I've got Reiki. I use the Seraphim angels over here. I've got my magic, maybe a voodoo, whatever you choose to use. And then holistically, you're bringing energy into the medicine, right? Does that
Well,
take a lot?
the holistic part is the medicine. And I think we've been reprogrammed to think that medicine is only something that can be received through the white coat. And it's not true. There's uses for all of it. And what you just mentioned as a holistic term, it starts with the physical body and it moves all the way through our thoughts, our emotions. It affects each other along the way, all the way to the spiritual side. So we're end capped because we are physical beings and a spiritual being in one. So anything that happens on anywhere along the spectrum is going to manifest itself in the other areas. So rather than playing whack-a-mole with your symptoms, because that's what we end up doing, there are actual guided ways to manage yourself through the process so you don't get so lost in it.
And see, that's amazing because there's a lot out there, and especially with the internet. So we had talked earlier. I started in the 80s with holistic healing and got to meet Marcel Vogel and his healing crystals, and the man who really was the forefront on what crystals can do, just a simple quartz crystal, how it can take, and it is itself a repeater. And whatever crystal you put it with, it's going to mimic that. It's like this radio wave with these crystals, and just the simplest thing. And so from moving forward, there was so much out there and there's a lot to wade through. And it was just like overkill. And it's a scary thing. So a person like you comes in here and says, hey, I'm going to bring in that energy. I'm going to bring in maybe, do you use plant medicines?
Nope, no plant medicines. It's all mineral based for our foundation of the body. And I have become aware that plant medicines, depending on how they are implemented, can leave a person vulnerable to spiritual attack. So I do awful lot of exorcisms as a result.
So you're talking, so maybe I should unpack that because I think you're going more into that. I'm just assuming, of course, you'll let me know, into the ayahuasca and those ridiculous journeys. Are you even talking about just maybe plant simple, maybe horsetail, dandelion root? Those are all plants, teas.
They are, yeah, those are plants. So they don't really contain the nutrition that are, if we were to say the human body has a recipe, the recipe requires minerals, right? So we take our food from the ground through plants. And so plant medicine, yes, but being less poetic about it and more direct, we grow our food. The food plant is supposed to pull the minerals from the soil, and then we eat that food. I'm frozen. Yeah, so if we were made up of a recipe as a human body, we have needs that are based in minerals. So we get those minerals from the plants in the ground that are growing, and it produces food for us to eat. If we could, wouldn't it be so much easier if we could just pull a scoop of dirt and eat that instead? Our body needs a delivery system. So we can't just eat dirt. We have to have the plants. So to be less poetic about it and more direct, yeah, it's the plants and the animals who eat the plants. And
I love that, how you do that, because yes, we all have a different recipe for what we need for us. There's a generality for everybody.
Right.
But if we are not connected to what we need, how we need it, and when we need it, because our lives change. If you're spending a lot of time indoors versus a lot of time outdoors, if you exercise, if you don't, the way how you eat, what maybe what the weather is like. So many factors. We are all different. We have different DNA. So we are unique beings. So understanding what we need versus what our bestie needs. And
Yes.
who knows, as somebody who is an herbalist, who knows where your friend got that plant? Did you grow it in your backyard? What kind of minerals does it have? And has it been in I found some horsetail that was stored in a storage in Las Vegas probably 5 years ago. I'm not going to use that. It's depleted. It's oxidized. It was like, oh, look where that's at.
Yeah. Yeah. The freshest you can get things, the better. Yeah.
So that's what, and because nutrients are different in your ground, in your garden, are you supplementing it? What it was, it probably over 10 years ago when I started into aromatherapy and holistic medicine to learn that. And what is your finding in this? Because it's about 20, 27, maybe even more cups of 1 cup of spinach 20 plus years ago versus a cup of spinach now. So
Yeah.
a great mineral that is concocted correctly is going to be better for your body.
Yeah. You're speaking to the depletion of and the effect of big farming and how we're not leaving the ground fallow in between making different, what is that, fields, right? So from season to season, we're not allowing the soil to rejuvenate itself. And the food quality and the density of nutrients has been depleting. I remember speaking about this in 6th grade. It was back in the early 80s. And they were talking then that it's 50%. Now it's way less than 50%. It's like 1% of what we used to have in the 1950s before big farming became the way to feed the human race. And we've done this to ourselves. So it's no longer a question of if we need to supplement, it's with what, how much, and what kind. And that's what I take the guesswork out of at a foundational level.
And that's brilliant because when you get back into energy medicine and you add the energy medicine, so I like where you're going with this because I have seen so many people over the years say that, oh, it's either just your mind or you can just pull the energy out of the air, or I want it to be this way, so it's going to be this way. And it's like talking to a 3-year-old and I'm a 5th dimensional. I love you guys know me. I wear my tinfoil hat with pride, but I don't want to see anybody in a heart space as an energy worker. I don't want to see anybody sick or angry or upset or have issues physically, can't be successful in their business because they are depleted in the nutrients or the love or the understanding that they are here on this earth and we are of this earth and we have to remember and honor we are here for a reason and a purpose. And if we're always flying high, then you're never in that harmony. As the same with very logical people. I grew up a scientist, so they can be totally opposite of the love or the harmony. So I think it's really that balance. Are you finding that when you do a full body with minerals and with energy and intelligence of the way to maybe program it or guide people or coach people, that they're more apt to not only heal faster, but for longer periods.
This is what I found. Yeah, I found in my early days of this work, I would work with an individual for a year or two, and then they would go on about their happy way because they felt better and they had their energy back and they could think again and they could sleep again. And all these things that they thought were normal for their age went away. And then a year or two later, because they hadn't addressed all of the other deficiencies, like not processing their emotions and not understanding their maturity levels into spirituality and not understanding that they could receive so loving gifts from ancestors that they didn't even know was affecting their energy, they would knock back on my doorstep and say, I need to start over again with you because I'm sick again. But if we had taken the time to go through and expand from just the physical body to the spiritual, energetic body, then we would have been able to address it all. So yes, they do, I find, process the healing, whatever the healing needs to be. So, for example, they have a trauma. Maybe they were in a car accident. The car accident injured their body. And so they get the cast, and then the cast goes on for a little while, but they don't deal with the emotional side of what that trauma put in their emotional space. So the cast comes off, and they can work and move that body part again. But every time they drive through that area, they get triggered, and the emotional causes cortisol release. And now they're stressed. Now they have anxiety. Now they're going to the doctor for anxiety. So all of these things were related, but if they had done, again, a full holistic awareness and healing, they could have preempted and not just survived through that accident, but thrived through it and understood themselves even more deeply.
Oh, yes, yes. And thriving through it is huge because there is always more healing
Yeah.
that is
always.
occurring.
Yeah.
And there may be in that trauma and that experience of the changing and understanding your emotional intelligence, or maybe some shadow work of why you continue to feel the pain, even though you're technically healed and you're able to walk again. Maybe you got a sprained ankle and you're able to walk again, but there's some type of pain that you're really continuously connected with. And so finding out where to move from that. And that's great stuff. And it has such an effect not only on us and our lives, but what say you on the business side for people when they are aligned in their personal life, their health, and now their business, maybe their leads are aligning, their audience is aligning, their events for their coaching. Now there's money in the bank. Now they can do wonderful things for millions of people instead of just for them or their family because they're making money, or maybe they're selling a ticket offer. What is the client when they start?
Yeah, it's a big difference. So, a personal experience along with those I've worked with. If you're an intuitively led business person, you're looking for that connection to lead you. Even if you're unaware of it, you have those impulses of, oh, I know what I want to do next. That aligns. That gives me the chills. I'm going to follow my highest excitement towards that next thing. And when we are doing that work and in service, we find a buildup, an energetic buildup that doesn't get cleared automatically. And that can distort the connection that allows for those aha moments and the chills and what's next. So it's intimately tied. If you are off, I'll give you another quick example. I like boats, I like to cruise. So if you're taking a cruise ship from Southampton and you're meaning to go to Fort Lauderdale, that ship goes off a degree or two from the beginning of Southampton, you can end up in New York. That's not what you wanted. So these little changes in understanding who you are as that soul being and your purpose, what it is that you're meant to bring in as a gift to serve humanity, that gets distorted. Even 1%, you're off your mark. You're off your mark. So I'm making sure that people master that spiritual gift by mastering their physical body.
When you're talking about that change and that holistic alignment, and now you can succeed, but now you can live that luxurious life. And who wants to live a luxurious life? Now you got the money, now you're sick. Now you're not healthy. Now you can't spend time and run around with your friends or your family or go do fun things. Nobody wants that. So you're bringing that into perspective.
We're waiting too long too, because we have work to do. And we think, here's the common thing, been here myself, so I understand it intimately. It's that, oh, I woke up with this new symptom, whatever it is, fill in the blank. And maybe it'll go away is the first thought. Maybe it'll go away on its own. And we ignore it. And then we continue to work. And then something else pops up on top of it because it cascades and it ends up being bigger. Until finally we're unable to work even part-time. And we slow down and we're not as clear in our business purpose because we're distracted by our bodies. Distracted by not just the body, but what the body has manifested as a result of some other trauma or issue in another part of our holistic being. And we don't have the time now or the energy to ferret it out. So these things, it's a catch-22 in the worst possible way, and it just continues to cascade until we're compensated so poorly that we can't even get out of bed.
Oh, yeah. And then finally everything succeeded and then it seems like it's sabotaged. So it's almost like a Murphy's Law scenario, right? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Isn't it ironic? Did you set yourself up for success? And if you realize that anything that you're doing now is going to have repercussions and that karma is coming along 5 years, 10 years, 7 years. A lot of people talk about in business and in financial or in relationships, and it works in conjunction with the rest of the world. There's a 7 year, that 7 year itch. And I think it was a Marilyn Monroe movie, but you coincide that with the graphs of finances, like recessions or wars, and you factor this in mathematically and you do all the boring stuff. I won't go down that nerd road too much, but really you start to factor that in and then you add the karmic value and how unhealthy you are. Maybe I shoulda, coulda, woulda done that. And now it's so much easier to blame everybody else that it didn't work, but you didn't set yourself up for success. And you are sharing with your clients how to do that and the full rate. And then it's actually up to them to make that decision. Sorry, people. Unless you hire someone to tell you, like David Goggins, to tell you what to do, when to do, and how to do it. That's not really what you're paying for. You're actually looking at being guided and being coached so you can be the one that develops and learns these traits and these strengths, which is so amazing. And, I just want to say something that stood out to me online on your website as I'm on here is that you're not putting your clients in a box. And I think that's huge for a lot of people to realize that it's not a one and done diet plan. It's not a one and done coaching program. It's not a one and done exercise or foods. And that goes back to the supplement conversation that we were just having is everybody needs to have some type of assessment.
Yeah. I've had people come to me with an Adonis of a body, and they say to me, self-proclaimed, "Oh, my only problem is I have allergies." So we run a biopsy to see what's going on. It isn't, I'm not painful, don't worry. I wouldn't do it if it was painful. And look at the test results to see what is the metabolism, what is your toxic load, what's going on with your hormone levels. Is your body able to get rid of the toxins that we are exposed to in our polluted earth? Because we don't live in a bubble. We're all exposed to it. And they would be shocked, surprised, a little bit hurt that what they had been doing did not give them the result that they wanted, and couldn't believe it. Oh my God, I have all these toxic metals. I have these nutritional imbalances. They will eventually show signs later, sooner or
Yeah,
later.
absolutely.
Yeah, and they show up in different ways that seem small at first, small enough that, oh, I got a headache, so I'll just take some Advil for it. Small enough, oh, I am tired, so I'll just get a second coffee. That is the beginning. Listen to that as information. Unless you've had a fitful night's sleep, a nap shouldn't really be needed in the middle of the day.
Exactly, exactly. And it's important to get your rest. It's important to get your exercise and to understand. And seeing people over the years, talk about Adonis bodies. I worked in law enforcement and security, and people take great care of their bodies and their mental state.
Yeah.
And over the years, there's a before and after.
There sure is.
There are some maybe captains or sergeants that stop taking care of themselves and really don't look at their health in the long term. And when you're an adrenaline junkie and you're go, now it's dopamine. It's not as exciting. You get your little fix on Facebook, is a whole different thing. But you're having these people who run for miles and they can just have this incredible recall and photographic memory, and the healthiest, strongest. And then if 5 years, 10 years down the road, you cannot recognize them.
Yeah. That's that buildup. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's exactly what you're talking about. And it does change. So if you take care of yourself and you are in that phase, then enough that hopefully most people will say, okay, I can recognize that maybe there is something I should look into.
We're inundated with all of these messagings because it's a desire for somebody to sell you something. Really, this comes down to just commercialism. Take this, do that. This is going to be your new way out of needing to worry about your future. This will cure you of all of your ills, aches, and pains. But in falling into that trap, you think you're doing all the right things, but really it's still just playing whack-a-mole, trying to put out the fires of whatever you find coming up along the way, or deciding, you know what, I'm old, and this is normal for my age. And I say, no, there's nothing that's normal for your age. It's just common. Don't be
Yes.
common. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. What a great phrase there. Don't be common, because it's not. And people say, hey, so when I was a kid, I was vaccine injured, spent a lot of time in the hospital, told I probably wouldn't walk again. I had this, I had that, I had this immune, blah, 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 blah. I had a whole bunch of people come into my hospital bed. Basically, it's the end of the world and the Grim Reaper should have showed up and all this. I mean, I'm a kid. Come on, 5th grade. This whole thing's going on. But what I will say is that there were some fantastic doctors at the time who did come in, and some specialists, and say, hey, there may be a possibility to cure this. And at the time, they were able to admit that's what had happened. They said themselves, it wasn't, I thought, I dreamt it up. Doctors came in and said, hey, you have this. It's not a symptom. We took blood, did all these tests. And I was told I'll never get out of bed again. And now I'm 52. I walk, I run, I hike, I think, I work, I move around, I'm function. Even my brain and my memory are better than they were. And so to see that it's true, that it's not, oh, hey, that's what age does.
No, like you, I also became very sick with many chronic illnesses very early. By the time I was going through puberty, I wasn't diagnosed, but I had depression. And that was something, looking back on it, it's Monday morning quarterback. It's easy to see looking back on it. But living through it, it's a different story. I ended up being infertile by the age of 22. Told I had autoimmune disorder, arthritis, anxiety, insomnia. It took me 10 years to get the diagnosis of chronic fatigue, because that was back when it's all in your head.
Right.
Yeah. So I had 30 different symptoms, and it took me 16 years to find the combination. You can take 16 years on your own to find the combination and be as stubborn as I am to say, nope, I'm giving my body natural medicine, whatever that is, and be holistic. Or you can take the path that's right for you, that's guided. Otherwise, you're just playing pin the tail on the donkey with a blindfold on, being spun around with a sharp object. That's what you get to do.
But they don't. And you get diagnosed by a news channel, or you get diagnosed by some, whatever the injection of the day is. And it's such treachery, and you don't even get to go to the doctors. And it's worse and worse as we move on in the years, to say that, oh, we don't know what you have, but maybe there's this new symptom. You don't know. You're just getting a kickback. We know how that goes. But that brings me into the change of today, because you said you took 16 years.
Yep.
Was that the factor of maybe media's out there, or was that just personal growth?
Combination of things, but I was stubborn with the idea, two ideas that did not play well in the same sandbox. One was, I need to go to the doctor, get my blood drawn, find out what the experts say about what's going on with my body. And I went through 10 different doctors and specialists, and ended up firing them all because they kept saying the following: we don't know what's wrong with you. And the words "we" came out of an individual's mouth. And it was like they all went to the same class. If you don't know what's wrong with a person, just say this. And I hear that from a lot of individuals. So I went to the normal Western medicine route, and I finally heard the message: we can't help you. I must be barking up the wrong tree. So I'm going to try something else. And that was hard to give up, because aren't we trained to do that? These are the people that are supposed to help us with everything physical that's wrong with you.
They're supposed to support you.
But that's not what people think. People often think doctor, God, too. So there's an awful lot of misappropriation of responsibility. And Yeah, we put too much pressure on our doctors. I have a love for doctors, and I would go to one if I have a broken arm. I go one if I've severed my finger. I'll go to one if I have a serious problem going on with the body that's not chronic, especially car accident, traumas, anything like that. If it's bleeding, if it's on fire, pain, or right? If you're
I
bleeding,
don't know what picture, and I'm just sitting here literally trying to think for a second. I don't know what picture in a church. I don't know what picture in the Bhagavad Gita, however you say it,
yeah,
or in the Bibles, old stories, in mythology, hieroglyphs in Egypt, that the god was wearing a white lab coat.
thank you.
I have yet to see that picture, and I'm sitting here. Nope, don't think. Check,
I
check,
don't
check.
think so.
And I'm checking all the boxes in my head. They don't have that. Your
Yeah.
God's your God, whether if you're Wiccan, you believe in God, Jesus, whoever.
Yeah.
I don't know one of them, one of those deities that wore that specific jacket. And you don't see in if you're looking at stuff from Egypt and they had the surgeries and somebody had a pin in their leg and they were doing surgeries like we're doing surgeries now and with laser and biopsies and fixing stuff. There's nothing in there that says that person was the god in those hieroglyphs. I'm
Yeah.
not seeing.
I find there's a distinct two different buckets in people when I speak with them. It's those who believe wholeheartedly in Western medicine, and that's all there is, and anything I'm doing is witchcraft. And then there are those who have gone through the hero's journey of, I'm not finding the answer with Western medicine. I want to support my body and find the solution before I die an ever so slowly and painful death. What is that? Because I'm not finding it here. And those are the people that come to me.
Yeah, and you're someone that can say, "Hey, I understand, I get it. I can be supportive. I can be in my heart space. I can bring some good energy and understand, but yet you're going to bring the full package of here. You need some energy work, you need some minerals. We need to really assess the situation that's going on and what you're going to put into that. And that's the full scope of the picture. And to really say this day and age, I know in the 80s there was some good changes there holistically for people to work with that, but we took away the nutrition. And
Yeah.
so if doctors have, or Dr. Google has less than 40 hours of nutrition, let's look at what happens. We're seeing more and more of that. So we can bring the science and those receipts and those studies, understanding who the studies were on and what was really in the study. You bring people like Huberman from Huberman Labs in there to have a discussion with people so we can start to get the education and maybe start to understand where to go, a little nugget, a little seed, and start to take those, follow that. Where is this going? Where's that web of things going? So I can start looking for myself and having some actual education and getting something that even in the like NIH.com and National Institute of, is it Health? And you're looking PubMed, and it has some published medical documentation, even on frankincense, herbs. If you're into herbs, there is published things that can be utilized on people. And what does that change mentally? And what does that change for healing? And it's used in hospice. But when you can now bring these studies in. So we're in a day and age that the data's out there. So people are screaming, oh, it's not there. Nobody knows about it's there. The data's there. The receipts are there. But someone like you can take people and bring them through going in the weeds or going down the rabbit hole. But right now we have some change. It may not be everything that we want, but we can talk about things publicly with the change, and hopefully he's not necessarily our savior, but he's but done some really good is Robert Kennedy to say he's out there. And so now we can talk about this, and he was talking about this before years and years ago. With that out there, do you find that starting to help where people can publicly talk about this?
I think COVID changed all that. So we had a moment of fear, many months of moments of fear. And then the truth came out about they really didn't have all the data, and it was forced as something that was required. as opposed to giving us the choice. And we still don't know to this day if COVID is helped by being 6 feet apart or not, because we were just told stay 6 feet apart. There's no data to support it. But what there's data on other things. And mineral work as a science is a science. I'm a practitioner trained in that science. It's been around for more than 50 years. There's tons of data on it, and it works. And oftentimes it's like a mushroom in the dark, because it actually does help with chronic illnesses that medications do not. And here's the fun part of being a true holistic healer is you could have depression, feel depression symptoms, and take even frankincense for that to help depression. I don't know if you know that frankincense is known for helping depression. Really good for it.
It's
But
wonderful, yes.
Yeah, but if that is not the main reason for it, it'll help subside a little bit of symptom, and then it will come back when you stop using the frankincense. That's when you know it's somewhere else. Oftentimes, things like imbalances in our food can create the imbalance in our body that give us the feeling of depression. It's a chemical response by not having the minerals that we're meant to be made up of. So we can try the solution that we hear about, but ultimately we need to look at the holistic body along the entire spectrum and make sure that it's not coming from the place we think it's coming from, because often our symptom is not the problem.
Yes, that is so true. It's a symptom of something larger, a cause and effect that has come up from something else. But we are all minerals. We're all atoms. We're all cells. Everything that is life.
Energy. We're all energy. Energy is everything, and energy is everything. So we follow that line.
Absolutely. And you, that is the energetic makeup, and you add the minerals for the fuel and the consistency to keep the velocity of your life going and the movement going forward and the change. And it makes such a difference than to say, hey, I can get this all from food, or I can get it all from just the sunshine, or I can get it all from, that goes back to that kind of put everybody in a box type of thing. And the minerals are good for your depletion, your mental state. We're elemental beings, and that goes into, again, it goes back into energy and who we are, and just feeding and seeding who we are and the change. And it helps with our business and our focus. If you're healthier, you're able to focus. You're not just in another network falling asleep or turning off your camera because you're like, oh, am I here in the right place? You're able to stop and think and go, wait a second. Do I belong here? Is this aligned with me? If your energy is depleted, your health is bad, your minerals are depleted, your energy is in the wrong place, and you're not functioning cyclically like you should, then you're making poor decisions, and you're probably busy being busy. And then you're attracting these monstrous leads. Who am I talking to? I just spent 4 hours talking to, I don't even remember. The conversations start falling together.
Yeah.
And then
That's
you're
true.
losing, and your bank account will absolutely match that. So it's just really the strength. And this is the time really with good information. And I appreciate what you're sharing, because it is good information to me in the conversation. And I'm sure the audience will absolutely pick up on this, is that you are educated. You are articulate. You are able to bring the receipts and put the sentences together, but also paint the larger picture with the brush strokes to say, hey, I've been there. I've been in your shoes, and I'm not here to cause harm. And with the onset of social media and everybody's a influencer, we're just rinsing and repeating a lot of what we heard. So we haven't almost changed in so many years. The people that we didn't want to be part of, whether it was a church or the military or all this bad stuff, and some of it's bad, some of it's good, but it's that cookie cutter cultish vibration that we need to stop and get out of, and beating our drums on that activation of why are we upset and why are we activated, so we can look at our soul on a soul cellular level. I love what you do and how you do that with people. So take me a little bit through if somebody's working with you, because they can absolutely do that online. What a fantastic solution to be able to say, hey, I can work with you online. And what is that process?
It's the foundation of the body. So we start with the mineral balancing science and see what's going on with the pollution inside the body and what are the relationships of minerals inside the body, because that's true stress. People think of stress and they go, oh, it's the things around outside of me. Look, whether or not your spouse knows about your thing on the side, that's called drama. Okay. This stress is the inside work. And that's what we work on first. Because if you're full of the pollution, and I'm talking about from plastics to viruses to mineral nutritional imbalances and toxic metals, parasites, all of these things, they become static for us to be able to. So as soon as those statics start to get removed and we start to become more fortified with our preferred minerals, then spiritual gifts and alignment with the emotional space of the mind, the freeways of our ability to think and process open up, and we suddenly go from a 2-lane highway to a nice 8-lane freeway. Big difference in your ability to process. So these processes, they start somewhere. We start with the body, give it what it needs, and then we see how the body responds. Here's a fun fact. When toxic metals and pollutions, including drugs that you took back 20 years ago at a party somewhere, haven't ever left your body, when your body decides to detox it out on a process like this, those memories leave with it. So traumas, memories, things that you thought, why am I thinking this all of the time? Why is that song in my head? Why am I thinking of this conversation that happened 30 years ago in my head? It's because you're detoxing what was attached to it. So that's an example of the type of processes. And then we get into more of that energetic space and see if there's something that's pulling on your energy in an invisible space, invisible to these eyes, but I can see and I can sense. And it is a far more powerful world when it contains more than just what we see here in the 3D, in the third dimension. There is a whole nother other world full of our guides, our loved ones, ancestors, and helpers that you can become connected with. And they're a part of us. They're here whether you like it or not. There is no privacy. Oh, don't come with me into the bathroom or don't come in the bedroom. They're always there. Just give them a show. It's okay. So
They know.
we're all here together and we all agreed to it, and becoming comfortable with that process and discovering the more of you, the more is in relationship to you for manifesting, for relationships here on earth, and for the relationship that's most important, the one with yourself. And that's ultimately what we need in order to bring those spiritual gifts into the world and master them.
Beautifully said, because if you're not just helping one person, you're helping millions. So if you change your one client, you're changing the people in their space, in their home, and then it's going to perpetuate to the people outside, the people in their community, the people that they talk with. So it's so much better than just one, because if you heal one person and you're not healing those or teaching them the tools for longevity, for continuity, and to change their mindset everywhere and giving them the tips, the tricks, and the tools all together, then we are going at a velocity, at a rate that is just like the speed of light or even faster, because energy heals quickly. And then you start to pay attention to your body. You start to pay attention to a lot of other wonderful things. And when you referred to when you're healing those memories, those thoughts, those traumas, and letting them go like a Mercury retrograde, it keeps keeps coming up. So you'll get rid of it. Let it go. I have a friend that just won't let it go. Come to a full moon, come to a Mercury retrograde. I'm like, okay, I'm going to lock down, turn off my phone. Call me after. Call me. We'll contact next Monday when it's all gone and you're better. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen magically.
We are affected by all those astral bodies, whether we like it or not, because it's gravity. But there are processes to learn and to activate within each of us that could help us, rather than being knocked down by the wave of influence from a retrograde or a solar flare, or who knows who else is also in retrograde. Yeah, you can become a surfer of that energy instead. So the only reason I know that there's a Mercury retrograde is because other people are having problems. And I'm like, hey, I need to get my hands on you.
And that song keeps playing. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? Yeah, it's a little too ironic. Don't you really think? Maybe you need to stop repeating that. It's like a crash, or it's when you back away and detach from it, and you're kind of Monday morning armchair quarterbacking what someone's going through in their Netflix of life and their drama zone, in their what's going on and how it's affecting their meat suit, you can really say, hey, here's the tools that you can do from this to stop you from being the road runner and the coyote and the
Right.
constant anvil crashing on them over and over again. It's
My favorite.
yeah, it's like Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. You're just like, you're repeating the same thing. Hello.
Yeah.
I
Stop
do
the
want
clearing cycle. Yeah.
to, yeah, exactly. And then you're constantly stuck paying people and seeing why you never
Yes.
get better, or you're stuck in that self-help cycle of you're like addicted to self-help and you're never getting better. Why do I never get this? Or this next shiny salesman that charged you $10,000 for a package of something that you'll never get a benefit out of
Yeah.
because you don't want to truly look at you. So I do want to say, because you're doing this and we're talking about energy and healing it, and water is such a healing vibration. It's so powerful. It changes things. You do a healing cruise. So how much can you heal? I think of like Carnival and all this crazy stuff going on. How are you? And it's fun for a minute, but you got a lot of detoxing to do after that. And you may take a frenemy home. But when you're doing this on like the high seas or maybe going to Alaska or wherever you're going, is it a different place? Because you have people maybe, for lack of a better term, captured in a spot where they have to heal.
Yeah. And it's bookended. So we prep them before we get on the boat, on the ship, as they would correct me. It's a ship, Eva. Yes. So we get on the ship and then we can concentrate on just the healings. It's not group. I wanted a way that, one, I could work from anywhere in the world. So that's my business. I worked with people from Peru to Dubai. I don't care where you are. It's fine as long as you speak English, because I'm sorry, I don't speak any other language. But when we get on a cruise ship, it's the one-on-one healings that require us to be in person. So we're doing some advanced Reiki healing, some activations, some crystal healing. And you brought up some crystals. They're powerful. And it's a dinner show for me as the practitioner. I get to see all of those guides and those loved ones come in, and maybe it's a shaman from your past life. Maybe it's a bunch of monks that come in that used to be a part of your experience from another time. Yeah. Or it could be a dragon, or it could be angels. There are many different elemental beings that are part of our healing experience. And I get to be there and introduce you to your guides. That is all part of it, along with being able to read that DNA you mentioned. We have a contract with Source Energy that says we're here to do this thing that we're here to do, the master. That's why I can't put you in a box. I can't tell you you're here to do this one thing. Your one thing is written on you. So if I'm in your presence and I'm doing what's called a divinity code activation, I can actually give you the contract information. Now you have actual breadcrumbs to follow, as opposed to guesswork or chills. So we're doing the deeper work, and we're allowing for the energy body to expand while we're there. And that brings in more opportunity for relationships with that etheric part of us. I'm way woo, but I'm also grounded. We get the physical body taken care of and founded, then we can work on this energy part. And there's all kinds of beautiful quantum and magic that's embedded in you. As my job is to pull it out and say, here you go. Let's play with it.
That's beautiful, because sometimes it's a lot easier to let somebody to surrender and let somebody else take over. And that way it's easier to let go. I'm here, I'm open, I'm ready, guide me, let's go. And that, what a wonderful journey, because, and it brings us back for a circle where offering solutions to pain points online does not negate the personal one-to-one connection that you can have. And if people find you online, then they can meet you on a cruise.
Right.
Or if they meet you on a cruise and they're in a different place in the world, they can get with you online. And this is the change that has happened in these last few years. And this is the blessing that has been brought to us, especially as healers, because we've been talking about it for years. Wouldn't it be cool to have a holodeck where you can relive your tragedy or trauma and work it out on the Star Trek up in space, right? Let it go, or play games, go into a mystery, be a detective, maybe learn some judo, or you can heal through that and relive or contact other people. And it's a connection, it's a change, it's a dimensional walk. And that's what we're doing now. Whether you're online, virtually, you're in virtual reality, it is a different dimension. And if we start to seed and change our mindset, we are bringing that change and that love and the energy. Let's get there first. We're not Mark Zuckerberg. We're not going to take over the world and put crazy stuff on there. If you're still mad at whatever he did, but he got us to connect. So
He did.
let's get past that moment. We're here for good. These are great ways to connect. Virtual reality, we can seed our souls in there. And as energy workers, if we go in there first and we go in there strong together, and even with the maybe LinkedIn, we can make that change. We can't make the change if we're complaining and we're agitated and we're doing it alone. So let's do it with connection, and we can do this virtually. It's a lot cheaper, it's a lot easier, and it's a lot quicker, right?
Yep.
So-
I don't leave my house unless I'm going to LAX to go to another country and do a retreat like this. It's everything is here in my house, so it's great.
I love that. That's a beautiful thing. And you're self-contained, and you know where your blessings and your tribe are at. And that's your energy, and your spirit guides are there. And that's all we need, in a sense, how to find someone or something great. But I'm going to let you have the last word here, because we are at the end of this wonderful podcast.
Last words. I would say the most important thing is to listen to yourself. If you're having an experience in your body that doesn't feel right and you feel off, don't let anybody tell you that it's all in your head. And find the patterns. And I have a wonderful free gift. May I share that now?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. So I have a best-selling book that I'm giving away with my essential energy quotient test. We know our IQ, we know our EQ, but we don't know our EEQ. That's because I developed this test. And it gives you basically your FICO score for healing. How much energy do I have to heal? So you take the test. It's on my website, theelevateinstitute.com. It's free. Download the book, get a bunch of free goodies. And even if you are inspired, you can connect with me one-on-one.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing and for being here today and adding such transformation, such great energy, and having a fun conversation, because we can still laugh and enjoy one another's company. And for being here, all of her information will be down below. You guys will be able to find her stuff on YouTube and Spotify and Rumble, LinkedIn, Twitter. It's going to go anywhere and everywhere. She'll be everywhere, and you can connect to her. Maybe go on a cruise, have a good time, go relax, go heal, go cut a rug, whatever you got to do. Go do it in the ocean. I'm not going to guarantee there won't be pictures, but have a good time. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm your hostess with the mostest, Nicole. And hey, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day. We'll see you on the flip side.
The Real World, a global community where like-minded individuals work toward achieving their personal goals. Every member receives advanced training and mentoring from our team of experienced industry specialists. Develop essential business skills with the help of our coaches through our online comprehensive education system. Join now. Real Prosperity Financial Freedom Formula. Discover how to become financially free so you don't have to depend on your business, a job, the government, a partner, or anyone else for money. Scan code for the Financial Freedom Formula. 4BK Forbidden Knowledge Shop. Forbidden Knowledge Tours and Workshops. Embark on a journey of discovery with Forbidden Knowledge Tours and Workshops, where history, science, and spirituality merge to unlock the secrets of the universe. Our immersive experiences take you beyond the mainstream narrative, exploring ancient civilizations, consciousness expansion, biohacking, UFO phenomena, and the art of manifestation. Esoteric Store, featuring new esoteric and biohack items. It's a movement, a portal to ancient wisdom, higher vibrations, and deep truths. Awakening minds and expanding consciousness. Scan code to shop now. AI Genius Club, revolutionary suite of 24 AI-powered apps, is designed to automate, optimize, and elevate your success. Whether you're crafting visuals, creating engaging funnels, or generating personalized content, our platform empowers you to excel with ease and precision. Scan code to create magic. Event Raptor, the #1 solution for automating your sales. Attract, nurture, and convert with your ultimate coaching client attraction system. Everything you need to grow your audience, your authority and influence, your sales. Scan to start your automation.